water on the right, but that shouldn't come into play with a 7-iron in my hands. Never say never, but it shouldn't. So what I really want to do here is, again, I'm going to go on the notion that I want to hit the first 3 to 6 greens in regulation if I can. The best way I can do that is to not go at any of the flags, especially this one. This one's tucked hard left. It's telling me, come on, go for me, but I don't want to. I'm going to go 20 to 25 foot right of this flag. Alrighty guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Ryan Mouque, and today what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to play 3 holes. First thing in the morning, no warm-up, straight out of my car. Now, why am I doing this? I think a lot of golfers can relate to getting straight out of the car in the morning with 10 or 15 minutes to spare. They go to the pro shop, they get their card, and they're basically straight on the tee. No putting green warm-up, no warm-up in the nets or on the driving range. So they get onto the golf course cold. There's no warm-up, their swing's really tight, and they struggle on those first 3 holes of the day. Now, the first 3 holes of the day are quite important. If you get off to a good start, it gets you some momentum to keep your round going. But if you get off to a horrible start, it kind of ruins the entire day and ruins that scorecard straight away. So what I want to give you is some tools that you can use in order to play those first 3 to 6 holes just a little bit better. Now keep in mind that this is purely for a player that has had no warm-up. So we need to understand that if you can get a warm-up in, I would highly advise that you get that warm-up in. There's a reason why, and I'll talk to you throughout the first 3 holes that I'm going to play. So the first thing I'm going to do if I've got 2 or 3 minutes spare on the tee block just before I tee off is somehow warm my body up a little bit. Now, I've grabbed 3 golf clubs out of my bag. Now you can use kind of some super speed sticks work really well for this to try and swing them quite fast, get that body moving. But if you don't have anything like that, you've got clubs in your bag to use. So all I'm going to do is grab 3 golf clubs. I've got my 7, 8 and 6 here. And all I'm going to do is swing these back and forth, maybe 6 times each side. So what I'm going to actually do is just make sure that I'm getting some range of motion in my body. Okay, so there's 3 on the right-hand side, and then I'm actually going to go left-handed as well. I'm going to go the opposite direction to get my body warmed up in the other direction as well. So I'm just going to go with 3 swings each side for the sake of this video. Maybe do 6, depends on how much of a warm-up you'd want. Now that I've somewhat warmed up, we're on the tee, we're ready to go. Now, this hole here is a dogleg right with water on the right-hand side. It's about 330 to 340 meters from these tee blocks. Now, my mishit for myself is a block right. I get a little under the golf ball and I start it to the right. So this hole for me to start on is not very good. Okay, so I need to play what I'd call a go-to shot. I need a shot that I know is going to go in a certain direction. Now, there's plenty of room left, but the further I go left, the more distance I have to come into this green. So I kind of want to be somewhere in the middle of the fairway. I don't want to be too far left. And of course, I don't want to be to the right. So what I want to do here is I've got a 3-iron. I'm going to place the ball back in my stance, and I'm going to try and feel like I just cover it and play a little stinger draw up the middle of the fairway. That's what I'm hoping for. So again, I'm very cold this morning. I haven't had a warm-up. I have no idea where my golf ball is going. So this is the danger of not warming up. I have to start my round in a pretty negative mindset because I have no idea what's going on with the golf ball. I haven't been to the range to see the ball flight, to get the body warmed up and swinging. But I'm going to aim up the right-hand side, or I might even just go a little bit more towards the middle of the fairway, and even if I do hit it a little bit left, I'm in play. So let's see how this tee shot goes. Definitely want to just aim up the center and get it moving from right to left. So that didn't move very far right to left, but I aimed far enough left that that ball's actually in a really good position. Probably the best tee shot I could have hoped for given my situation of no warm-up. All right, so thankfully I'm in the middle of the fairway here. I've actually hugged that right side. I didn't try to, but I actually hugged that right side, which gave me the least amount of distance into this hole given the club I chose off the tee. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom this flag, and we've got 101 meters, which for me, it's just a nice comfortable gap wedge. Now, if I was warmed up, I might be needing to take a little bit off that gap wedge, but because it's my second swing of the day, basically I can just hit this gap wedge. Now, the key thing here is to really not be too worried about where the flag is or what, or how, how much on the green is the flag, where is it tucked, is it not? I'm gonna go for this flag just because it's in the middle of the green, but I'm not that concerned with how far away my ball ends up here. I just want to hit the green, get off to a good start. I once got told by a good mentor of mine, hit the first 6 greens in regulation, no matter where the flag is. And that's normally a really good recipe for starting your round off really well. All right, so I've got my gap wedge. I'm just going to basically play this pretty stock standard, normal golf swing. I might place this ball just a fraction back in my stance a little bit, just to feel like I can compress that ball just a little bit more. So aiming straight at it, all I'm really trying to do is hit the green here. So there you see a little bit of a thin contact. Oh, actually got away with that one. You can see I didn't even interact with the turf, a little bit thin. Again, early in the morning, it's really hard to play early in the morning, first swings of the day. You're going to get mishits like that. Thankfully, that one worked out all right. I think I'm 8 to 10 foot, which is handy. All right, so you can see someone's already beaten me to the punch here today. There's some footprints on the green. What I'm going to do just before my putt is I'm going to have a quick look behind the hole, just so I can get a rough idea of what it's doing. And as you can see, the grass is still dewy. I can promise you I haven't been here practicing early this morning. Now I have no idea what the green speed's like. They're obviously, about 4 weeks ago they cored them, so they're a little long, plus the dew. So I've got to be careful here. 2 things: I could hit this way too far past, or I could actually hit it a bit short. So again, this is a guessing game. I haven't warmed up on the practice green. This is a complete guess in the morning. So I'm aiming this fairly straight. What is it, about 15 foot? Let's have a look. I've hit these many times in my life before, so I feel like I've got a decent idea of what this will do. But again, I'm not confident that I'm going to have perfect speed here. That's in the back of my mind, which isn't a good thought. Smashed it. Ah! There you go. So because I didn't warm up this morning, I had no idea how fast these greens were. All right, so as you can see, not the 4-footer I wanted for par. I wanted this to be a little easier, but this is what you're going to get if you don't warm up and get a feel for the game early on. All right, thankfully made that. We're in for a 4. Decent start, a little bit rocky on the greens due to the dew and everything, but we move on to the next hole, even par. Okay, after the first hole, we're even par, and I'm up to the second hole, par 3. Pin is tucked on the left, big hollow down the left, so you do not want to miss it left here. Got 147 meters. I've got my 7-iron. Water on the right, but that shouldn't come into play with a 7-iron in my hands. Never say never, but it shouldn't. So what I really want to do here is, again, I'm going to go on the notion that I want to hit the first 3 to 6 greens in regulation if I can. The best way I can do that is to not go at any of the flags, especially this one. This one's tucked hard left. It's telling me, come on, go for me, but I don't want to. I'm going to go 20 to 25 foot right of this flag. I'm just going to swing it in the back of my mind. I don't want to go left, so I'm kind of probably going to veer on the right hand side a little bit here. So I'm going to aim straight between the 2 bunkers there. If I pull it, I'm okay. If I pull it, I'm actually really good. If I push it, I should just be on the right edge of the green. So let's give this a shot. 3rd swing of the day. Still don't feel great. There's your pull. This should actually be really, really good. So I've pulled that. Oh, I've pulled that very, very close to the hole there. That wasn't my intention, remember. Now this is a really key thing to understand. If I had gone for that flag and pulled it, I would have been left where I didn't want to be. But I aimed plenty far right enough, but every now and again we pull it, we push it. We don't know which one's coming in, and that's our shot dispersion. There's a really good thing to learn there. That's our shot dispersion. Every now and again I'll get a pull, and that one happened to work out really well for me. My playing partners would be saying great shot, whereas it actually wasn't a great shot. It's a great result, not a great shot, but I'll take it. So as I approach this green, there's my golf ball, thankfully. And this is the left-hand side I was talking to you about. So the pin's cut, what, 5 on, but here's the little swallow or hollow that we don't really want to be in. So if we look back up to that flag, that would be our chip shot if we missed it left. Now, not sure about you, but I don't want that chip shot for my second hole of the morning. All right, so once again, I got away with that pull shot. Little right to left on this one. So we're looking at every step, 1, 2, 3, about 8 to 9 foot, depending on how big your steps are. So for everyone watching, the make rate on this putt from 8 feet, a PGA Tour level golfer is 50% from this range on average, which means my make rate must be somewhere around maybe, let's say 30 or 35. So I see this maybe a ball outside the right. Now, from an expectation perspective, my second hole of the day, I know that the PGA Tour standard is 50% from this range. So for me, the expectation is, of course, I want to try and hole this, but if I miss, it's not, you know, it's one that got away for sure, but it's not one that I have to go, well, you should make these every time. So that kind of makes this putt a little bit easier mentally for me. So a ball outside the right. Feels good when I stand over it. Practice swing, just getting that feel. Try and start this ball down my intended line. That's all I'm trying to do. Ooh. Felt like I pulled that a fraction, just a fraction. All right, we tap in our par nonetheless. It was a good par to get on this hole. Would have liked birdie from that range for sure, but once again, like I said to you just before, the make rate on the PGA Tour is 50% on average from that distance. So am I disappointed? Of course, but that's the reality of that length putt. Okay, so the time has come. I'm able to hit this thing, which gives me a chance to just free those shoulders up, give it as much of a hit as I can. Now, I'm thankful that on this hole, it's very wide open, although if you do hit it a fraction right, there is a hazard down there, but it's not really in play. So it's a 416 meter par 4, which is 460, 470 yards, maybe a little bit more. For this one, it would have been nice to make that putt just on the last there. And the reason being is this is a tough hole. It's a long hole. On average, I'm probably going to be around maybe 4.5 to 5 scoring average on this hole. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm going to give up a bogey here, but there's a high chance that it does happen. So it would have been good to make that putt to give me a little bit of a buffer and free myself up on this hole. But nonetheless, we can't go back in time. So basically, I'm going to give myself free rein at this shot. So I want to try and free my shoulders up a little bit here. Here's a good chance to get some freedom in my body. So pretty simple tee shot, really. There's nothing really there. I just need to get this kind of clean if I can. Okay. Aiming dead straight down the middle of the fairway. Allow that shot pattern to happen. If it goes left, it goes left. If it goes right, it goes right. I'm gonna feel like I give it a bit of extra by trying to feel like I'm loading that right side. Oh, there we go. That was pure. Okay, I couldn't have got that any better. So wherever that ends up, that's in a good spot. So I'm probably still gonna have a bit of distance left into the hole, but can't ask for more than that for my first drive of the day. Okay, so the hard work has been done. I've hit my tee shot, middle of the fairway. Couldn't have asked for any more, okay? I'm now 150 meters to this green with a back flag. Now, the previous par 3, I had 147 meters and I hit my 7-iron. It ended up 8 foot behind the hole, so let's say 2 to 3 paces, so it went bang on 150. I also pulled that shot. So in theory, this time of the morning, my 7-iron's only going maybe 145, 146, 47. So having 150 into this hole is actually a really perfect number for my 7-iron. Now, perhaps in the afternoon, or if I had warmed up and I've got my speed going right now, this might be a bit more of an 8-iron for me. I definitely don't want to go long of this hole. We're short-sighting ourselves if we do that. I do want to give myself a good opportunity at birdie here, but also when I've got a 7-iron in my hand, the realistic chance of getting inside of 20 foot is quite slim. Okay, so I'm expecting to be somewhere in that 20 to 30, maybe even 40 foot range. That's a fair, yeah, that's fair to say that I could do that. So I'm going to give it my best effort. I'm going to aim a fraction left of this flag. It is tucked a little bit to the right-hand side there, and I just know my tendency when I miss. So I'm going to aim, as I'm looking here, about 10 foot left of this hole. Nice 7-iron, pretty stock shot. Not going to go at it very hard. It's just basically a nice stock shot here. I've hit another good one. It's just going a little left. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's come up, as I said, it's come up a little short, 30, 35 foot short and left of the pin, but I did hit that solid, and like I said, at this time of the morning, knowing my body, knowing the temperature, it's only going about maybe 5 meters shorter of what I normally hit my 7-iron. So that's something to think about if you don't warm up in the morning. Part of your warm up in the morning is to actually get your body to speed up. It's really crucial if you want to hit your clubs the maximum distance right from the first hole. All right, folks, final hole for me this morning. I've hit a great shot into here. Didn't realize it was actually that good. So let me just take another quick look from behind like I always do. Looks fairly straight from there. I'm gonna go low side. So let's see if we can get this one. Now, I've started to get the feel for the greens now. They're not as slow and I'm not as unsure anymore. I've had a couple of putts on these now, so I'm starting to get the feel. Would have been better if I had went to the putting green before, but let's have a look. Let's see if I can get this one to go. Uphill just a little bit. Ooh. Still a little bit past. I'm going to give myself that. We don't miss those at pro level. All right, so there I am, even par after 3 holes. Now, one thing to understand is I did achieve my goal of 3 greens in regulation, or 3 to 6 greens, the first 3 to 6 greens of regulation. Now, if I had warmed up prior to the round, I would have been more ready to get after this golf course this morning. I could have been more aggressive, but in saying that, if you think about the shots I played, I hit a gap wedge to 15 foot on the first, missed that. I hit a 7-iron to about 8 foot on the second, I missed that. And then I hit a great shot into here, it's about 20, 25 feet, missed that. So you could argue there's maybe 1 or 2 opportunities missed there, but in saying that, without going to the putting green, without getting a feel for how the ball's starting on line, a feel for my stroke, a feel for speed, I really don't have any excuses. I can't really expect myself to start off making putts straight away on the golf course. In fact, I'm really happy with how I actually managed to get the ball close to the hole with my irons. That was a complete, I didn't expect that to happen. I got away with that one. So you could argue, oh, well, you don't have to go to the range necessarily, but I would still like to go to the range or hit the nets, hit the putting green for sure, have a couple of chips. Just get your body and mind ready to get out onto that golf course. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed that video today. Now, obviously you might be thinking, yeah, but you're a professional and you can hit the ball very well. Just make sure this is within your handicap range. If you're a 20 marker, maybe you just want to try and bogey the first few. Make sure you're making good decisions to make sure you're getting in bogey or less. The last thing we want to do on a golf course is start double, double, triple. That's a recipe to get back in your car and go home, maybe do the lawns, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're having fun out there. You don't have to fly it at every flag straight away. Get off to a good start using those helpful tips I had for you today. If you like this video, please press the like and subscribe button. Till next time, thanks for watching.